All right, so how well do you actually understand percent? Well, if you have pretty strong percent math skills, you should be able to figure out the answer to this simple math word problem. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and read the problem. It is as follows. A car travels 20% faster than a truck. If the car's speed is 80 miles per hour, what is the truck's speed? Now, feel free to use a calculator, but if you can figure this out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll share the correct answer in just 1 second. Then, of course, I'm going to solve this problem step by step. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And if you need help learning math, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, or if you just enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. All right, so let's take another look at this problem before I show you the answer. So a car is traveling 20% faster than a truck. If the car's speed is 80 miles per hour, what is the truck's speed? All right, so let's take a look at the correct answer. The correct answer is one of these two right here. So we have 66.7 miles per hour and 64 miles per hour. Now, one of these answers is probably the most common wrong answer. So if you answered 66.7 miles per hour, you actually did this right because 64 miles per hour is incorrect. So I congratulate you on your math success with a happy face, an A plus, a 100%, and a certificate of excellence. Now, 64 miles per hour is pretty close to the actual answer of 66.7 miles per hour, so it's easy to get confused on this particular problem. But, anyways, if you got this right, you definitely appear to be a certified professional expert in the area of solving percent math word problems. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the actual solution right now. And don't feel bad if you got 64 miles per hour because, again, you probably did a very common mistake that a lot of people do when they're solving percent math word problems. Okay, so here is our problem. Now, the first thing you always want to do when you're trying to solve any math word problem is read the thing at least 3 times, right? So you just don't want to read a problem once and then start doing something. Let your brain kind of kick in, start working, absorb the information, and you need to really understand the question. Okay, so we have a car, and this car is going faster than a truck. Matter of fact, it's going 20% faster than a truck, and we know the car speed is 80 miles per hour. We're looking for the truck's speed, which is obviously slower than the car speed, right? Because the car is traveling faster than a truck. So whatever answer we get, we know it has to be less than 80 miles per hour. All right, now the best thing you can do when you're trying to solve a math word problem is to model the information. Okay, and there's no particular right way of doing this, but I like to visualize, a problem if you can. Now, not every problem you can do this, or you can kind of visualize or come up with a sketch, but when you can, it's a worthwhile thing to do because if you can see the problem visually, oftentimes you can see how to solve the problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this. This is the way I'm thinking about the problem. So we have a car and a truck. Now we know that the car is going 80 miles per hour, which is 20% faster than the truck's speed. Now we don't know what the truck's speed is, so I'm just going to call that x, right? So x is just a variable, and in algebra, it just represents an unknown value, right? So we're trying to figure out what the actual truck speed is. But we do know that the car is going 80 miles per hour and it is traveling 20% faster than the truck's speed. Okay, so here is where I think a lot of people are going to be confused on how to solve this problem because I'm going to basically show you how we're going to get that wrong answer of 64 miles per hour. So if the car is traveling 20% faster than a truck, some people might say, well, if it's going 20% faster than a truck, maybe the truck is going, 20% less than the car, right? So it kind of makes sense. So if we take 100% and we subtract away 20%, that would be 80%. So maybe the truck is going 80% of the car's speed. So that would be 80% of 80 miles per hour. So that seems kind of logical, but let's go ahead and see what happens when we kind of approach the problem this way, right? So we got 100% minus 20%, so 80% of 80 miles per hour. So maybe that is the truck speed. So let's go ahead and actually do the math. Okay, so how do we find the percent of a number? Well, what we need to do is change that percent to a decimal by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal point over 2 places to the left, right? So 80% of 80 is going to be 0.80 times 80. Okay, so we use our calculator. 0.80 times 80 is 64 miles per hour. So at first glance, that seems reasonable, right? Well, it's obviously less than 80 miles per hour, but let's go ahead and check this answer. And we could do that because we know that the car is traveling 20% faster than the truck. So if the truck is going 64 miles per hour, 20% of 64 is what? Well, it's going to be 0.20, or we'll just take that 20% divided by 100. So that's going to be 0.20 times 64, which is 12.8 miles per hour. So again, the car is traveling 20% faster than the truck's speed. So if we take 20% of the truck's speed, and if the truck is going 64 miles per hour, that equates to 12.8 miles per hour. All right, so let's take the truck speed, that's 64 miles per hour, and add an additional 20% in miles per hour, so that's 12.8 miles per hour. If we add this up, we get 76.8 miles per hour, okay? And we know that that's not right because the car is going 80 miles per hour. Now, this is pretty close, but it's not precise, right? So in this particular case, it's easy for people to say, well, maybe this is correct because the answers seem to be close enough. Well, unfortunately, this is not right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the solution. There's a couple different ways you can approach this problem. I'm going to use algebra because algebra is such an awesome tool. Okay, so here is our truck and here is our car. So again, same information. We know that the car is going 80 miles per hour, which is 20% faster than the truck speed, which is x. So we'll just let x represent the truck's speed. So let's go ahead and build an algebraic equation here. And again, we're going to let x equal the truck speed. So if the truck speed is x, right? So here is the truck speed, x. The car is going 20% faster than a truck. Okay, so it's going to be going 20% faster than the truck speed. So 20% of x, okay, from an algebraic standpoint, we can write that as 20%. We can equate that as a decimal, 0.20. So 0.20 times x is 20% of the truck's speed. Okay, so we have the truck speed, which is x, and 20% more. So x plus 0.20, x is equal to the car speed, which of course we know is 80 miles per hour. All right, so what we need to do is solve this simple algebraic equation. So let's go ahead and do that. But before we do, we need to do this, and that is have you quickly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, don't you just love the way I kind of squeeze that in? Well, I need to stop these lovely math videos because I need your help. Now, my mission, my goal is to really reach as many people as I possibly can and try to teach math in a clear and understandable way. But beyond that, really what I'm trying to do is not or encourage people to never give up on themselves when it comes to mathematics. The number one reason from, in my opinion, and this is from decades and decades of years of, teaching mathematics, yeah, the number one reason people struggle in math is because they think they cannot do math. So they got it stuck in their head. They're like, I'm bad at math. Someone told me, maybe a former math teacher said, hey, you're not too good at math, or you just start believing that math is not your thing, or you'll never be able to figure this out. That's the number one barrier to success in math. Now, math is going to be difficult for all of us, including myself. Okay, it's all relative. So if you're being challenged with math, if you're struggling with math, that is just part of the process. It doesn't mean that you're not able to learn math. So never equate struggling or having difficulty with math for your ability to actually learn math. What you need is encouragement, and most importantly, you need clear and understandable math instruction and then a lot of practice. So, if you want to learn math from me, you definitely want to check out my full main math courses. You'll find links to those in the description of this video. And also, I have a ton of content on my YouTube channel. So I definitely need your support to reach as many people as possible. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, hit that notification bell as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how to solve this problem. So here is our setup, right? So what we have is the truck speed, and 20% more of the truck speed is the car speed, which is, of course, 80 miles per hour. So the car is traveling 20% faster than the truck's speed. Okay, so that's what this equation represents. And now we just need to solve this basic algebraic equation. Okay, so what's in front of this x here? Well, what's in front of that x is a 1. Okay, so we have 1x plus 0.20x. These things here are what we call like terms in algebra, so we can simply add the 1 and 0.2. So 1 plus 0.2 is 1.20x. So 1.20x is equal to 80. So to solve for x, all we have to do is divide both sides of the equation by 1.2, and we're going to get approximately 66.7 miles per hour. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this answer and see if this is correct. Now, if it's right, this, it should make sense when we look at the problem this way. So if the truck is going 66.7 miles per hour, and the car is going 20% faster than the truck, well, let's go ahead and find 20% of 66.7 miles per hour. So we're going to take 0.2, which of course we're going to change that percent to a decimal. So 0.2 times 66.7 miles per hour is 13.34. All right, so now let's go ahead and add these two up, the truck speed and 20% more, or 20% of the truck speed, which of course would represent 20% increase, right? Or 20% faster than the truck speed. Okay, so if that kind of made sense. Anyways, let's go ahead and add these two up. And when we do, we get 80.4 miles per hour. Okay, so hopefully you understand what I'm writing here, despite my poor English or my kind of explanation of what's going on. So we have the truck speed and 20% more. So we get 80.04 miles per hour, which is pretty much on target of our 80 miles per hour. Okay, so again, don't feel bad if you got this wrong. And if you did this in a different manner, as long as you understand, what you're doing and you can explain it, all right, and justify your results, then, feel fine to stick with your technique. Now, let me show you another way that we can think about this problem. Okay, so here's the truck and here's the car, and some of you that are really good with percent may have done the problem in this manner. Okay, so if the car is going 20% faster than the truck, okay, what does that mean? Well, it's going the truck's speed. It's going 100% of the truck's speed, okay, plus an additional 20%. Okay, so if the car is going 20% faster than the truck, it's going to go 100% of the truck's speed plus 20% more. So what it's really doing is going 120% of the truck's speed. So if we can figure out what 120% of x is, and again, x is the truck speed, and we know that 120% of x is going to be equal to 80 miles per hour. Well, that's another way to kind of set up this equation. So let's go ahead and do that right here. So 120% of x is equal to 80, right? So 120% of x, or 120% of the truck speed, is the car's speed, okay? All right, so how do we change a percent to a decimal? Well, we simply divide by 100, or move the decimal point over 2 places to the left. So 120% as a decimal is going to be 1.2x. So if we're trying to figure out what 120% of x is, that's the same thing as 1.2 times x. And of course, that is equal to 80. And we're back to our same lovely algebra equation here. So to solve for x, all we're going to do is divide both sides of the equation by 1.2. And we're going to end up with the same answer, which is approximately 66.7 miles per hour. All right, so again, percent problems can be a little bit confusing. And if you're struggling with percent, don't feel bad. What you need to do is go back and review the basics, okay? And word problems are simply an application of the things that you learn about a particular math topic, right? So never try to improve with word problems or solving word problems by doing more word problems. If you're having a difficult time solving word problems, what you need to do is, take a step back and work on the skills. Okay, so here, maybe you need to do a quick review on percent. Now, for those of you that do need additional help with percent or basic math, let me leave you a couple suggestions here. So, in the description of this video, you'll see a couple courses. A few courses come to mind. First is my Math Foundations course. That's a quick 3-chapter mini course in basic mathematics to include percent. And some of you may be interested in my Math Skills Rebuilder course. Now, that particular course, I cover basic math, but I also cover a ton of algebra, geometry, and some other things as well. Okay, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your math adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.